All right, so you want to talk about a hypothetical martial arts showdown. Buckle up because we're diving into the ultimate what if. Bruce Lee versus Angela Mao.
Two legends, two completely different styles. This one's going to be fun.
Yeah, and this isn't just about like who would win in a street fight. This is about philosophies of combat, about different approaches to martial arts.
Yeah, and you sent over some really fascinating sources too, by the way.
Exactly. We're talking about Bruce Lee, the icon of Jeet Kune Do, known for his lightning speed, his adaptability.
And that quote, right? Be like water.
Oh, absolutely. Be like water, my friend. But what does that actually look like in a fight?
I think that's what's so cool about Lee. It's not just about, kicking and punching. It's about this constant state of adaptation flowing with your opponent's movements, and then bam, exploiting the tiniest weakness.
Right, like you think you have him, and then suddenly he's not where you thought he'd be. Your sources really emphasize that unpredictability factor.
Totally.
And you can't forget about his speed and power. This wasn't just a philosopher, he was an incredibly gifted athlete.
Yeah, no doubt. But then on the other side of the ring, we have Angela Mao, Lady Kung Fu herself.
Who, let's be real, was an absolute force to be reckoned with in the 70s.
Totally. Dominating those classic Kung Fu films.
And her background, talk about diverse. We're talking Hapkido, Taekwondo, and various Chinese martial arts. She wasn't just mastering one style, she was weaving them together.
Right, so she has that incredible striking from Taekwondo, but then Hapkido brings in those joint locks, throws.
Exactly. So she can go from a devastating kick to, like, using your momentum against you in a split second. Graceful but deadly. Some of your sources even compare her fighting style to a dancer's.
Wow, so we're talking about a clash of styles here. It's like Lee, the rushing river, constantly changing, adapting.
And Mao, the perfectly aimed arrow, precise and powerful.
Both incredibly dangerous, just in completely different ways. So based on the sources you sent over, who comes out on top? Well, it's a tough one. Both fighters are at the top of their game.
Yeah.
But most of the sources do seem to lean towards Bruce Lee. And I can see why.
Yeah, why is that? Because honestly, from what we've discussed, Mao sounds pretty unbeatable herself.
It goes back to that adaptability. See, as amazing as Mao's technique is, she is still working within a system, a set of principles. Bruce Lee, though, his whole philosophy was about transcending systems, about constantly analyzing, adapting, and exploiting weaknesses in the moment.
So even if Mao landed a few blows, he'd be able to, like, shift his approach and turn the table.
Exactly. He'd use her strengths against her. It's that level of tactical thinking that, at least according to your sources, gives him the edge in a direct confrontation.
That's so interesting because, sometimes people think martial arts is just about who hits harder or who knows the fanciest moves, but what you're saying is
It's about strategy, about mindset, about seeing those tiny openings that other fighters miss.
Yeah, absolutely.
And honestly, that's what makes these hypothetical matchups so much fun to think about. Because it makes you realize how much more goes into martial arts than just physical ability.
Totally. It's about the mental game, the strategy. So for our listeners out there, think about this. If this fight went on longer, do you think Angela Mao, with her incredible skill and discipline, could start to anticipate Lee's adaptations? Could she turn his unpredictability against him? Something to chew on.